Went to Swansea. Difficult place to go because, well, where to start? The weird language that no one speaks but which is on every sign? The fact that Wales, like some shit Romford nightclub, costs £6 to get into but it's free to get out? Or the fact that I once nearly got beaten up in Cardiff for having a bag? Now I know Swansea is not Cardiff, but it was a bag. Meet Tim at the station, where for once we've got a choice of supermarkets. We go for Marx's. Tim gets double the lager because it's New Year's Eve and drops in an old friend. We board the train. And hey, have you ever wondered why they tell you not to flush the toilet in the station? Yeah, that's why. On the train, Tim gets irate about the fact that Lorraine Kelly has got an OBE and tells a story about the time he was thrown out of a famous European historical monument for being pissed and getting the giggles. Listen, I've got a confession to make. Me and the Welsh have got a history. I used to live in Swansea when I was young and Tottenham was shit, and I loved it. Living in Wales, I mean, not Tottenham being shit. I loved everything about it. The scenery, the people, the banter, the nights out, and the little dimples in the pavement where the vomit had eaten away at the concrete. So if you're a Welsh nationalist and you're offended by the bit at the beginning, if you could just unburn my house, that would be great. We pile off the train and direct all our fans to a pub I used to drink in, and which probably isn't even still there. I want to visit all of my old haunts before kick-off, which is fine with Tim as long as he can do shit impressions of Windsor Davis to everyone he walks past. And we wonder why they hate us. In the pissing rain, it all comes flooding back. The bars I used to go to, the castle I used to walk past, and the Labour Institute, which I've literally never seen before in my entire life. We buy some ice creams and head to the beach I used to sit on and watch the sun going down, even though it's late December, and even though it's pissing down with rain, and even though Tim's now pissing in the rain. Tim builds a couple of sandcastles because he used to love doing that when he was young, and I destroy them because I used to love doing that when I was young. But you know what? I'm not sure I ever did sit on this beach and watch the sun go down. I just never got round to it because it was always fucking raining. That's the thing about nostalgia. It's a mixture of the places you went to and the things you never did. We stop into my former local, which has gone uphill since I left, and get a taxi to the ground. The taxi has a 50 quid soiling charge, but Tim doesn't have any soil, so he spends the whole journey pretending to vomit. But when you've mixed Holston pills with mint choc chip, you don't normally need to pretend. Arrive at the stadium, and Tim insists on buying a Swansea City goodie bag because he wants the cheap plastic rattle. We head into the ground where the only things more confusing than the signs are the food options. Bet Tim a fiver he won't pour curry and chips on top of the lager and mint choc chip, but bless him, he does. Even though it's made out of 100% condemned meat, by which I mean it's made out of curried murderers. We head to our seats, which is harder than it sounds because the stewards don't understand the alphabet or the numerical system, and one of them looks like Freddy Krueger, which is a surprising choice considering what he did to those teenagers in their dreams. We find our mysteriously wet seats just in time for kickoff. Now I'm all for equal opportunities, but should Andy Carroll really be allowed to pose as a lineswoman? We start the game as if we've spent the previous night soiling taxis. Swansea are first to every ball, and Dyer nearly scores a screamer. Our end is surprisingly quiet, or maybe the Swansea fans are extra noisy, singing their mad songs that don't have any words and beating that bloody drum. Now I know you're probably bored with me giving the Welsh an easy ride, but these are the best fans we've heard all season, and I wish to God they'd shut the fuck up. Which is lucky because with our only attack of the first half, Crazy Benny outstrips their back, crosses to Rafa for a really good looking fluke. Swansea keep up the pressure, Andy Carroll struggles with the offside rule, and we go in 1-0 up at half time. It's still raining, so I keep my spirits up by reading the programme and wondering who approved this picture, and why I haven't noticed this before. The second half kicks off, and we look tired after 3 hard months of being actually quite good. It keeps raining, and partly because they deserve it, and partly because God's already been kind enough to us this year. Swansea equalise. We shuffle home dejected, and it's a temporary reminder of when it used to take months for us to see the funny side of another wasted away day. Part of me is sad because the greatest year of my life is ending, and in it we've won in Milan, taken on Europe's best, and learned how to win, and win, and win. Through this team, through the things we've seen in the last 12 months, through the places we've been, we have lived. We have lived. They say comedy is tragedy plus time, so maybe at some point in the future the dog, the rain, and Lorraine Kelly's OBE will become funny. Maybe one day I'll be in an old people's home, watching a VHS of this dull draw in the pissing rain, and having a wank. Still, it's all swings and roundabouts, innit?